Morning, everyone. How are you all? I'm awake, just. uh, yeah, what? You're in your dressing gown and slippers. That's exactly what my missus is like at the moment as well. She loves F1 so much, but she's decided to get up and watch qualifying with me, or with us. So, but yeah, just a couple of minutes late. I was making my coffee. But hey, Shazagam, I'm allowed to show the actual qualifying just at times. I can't, unfortunately, no. Yeah, I can't show full the full qualifying session due to copyright. Damn copyright. But yeah, we have at least the track map. We have the timings. So. But it's interesting how much you watch if you're into your F1, Dutch. It's interesting how you end up, well, me personally, convert watching F1 on a driver tracker and a data. Like if you're a true fan, if you're more interested in like everything that's involved in the race, then this is really good. And if you're obviously, of course, watching me, have me on in the background, have your TV coverage on as support, and yeah, you get loads of more information than you would just from TV. Was there more bots last night? Yeah, there was Marlin. It was on. You jinxed it, you know. You jinxed it at the start. You went, I hope there's no bots this time around. Well, there wasn't enough bots last time around, and Jesus, we got a massive influx of them last night. But let's talk news, guys. Let's talk F1, because overnight we've had some driver confirmations. We've got the news that that Pierre Gasly is leaving AlphaTauri to Alpine, and Nick De Vries is signed for AlphaTauri. So two good moves all around on the grid there. Well deserved for Pierre Gasly, and well deserved for Nick De Vries as well. So Nick De Vries to AlphaTauri is still shocked me a little bit, but at least he's got an F1 drive, and that's the most important thing. But it was a dry track earlier, wasn't it? And there was Max led the timing sheets ahead from Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc, where we kind of expect him to be. What can Mick Schumacher do now? Not much Mick Schumacher can do now. No. His F1 seat is in jeopardy, isn't it? Apparently, the Haas seat is still there for him, but he really needs to put in some good performances. Really does, because Magnussen has clearly shown that car can be further up the grid. Singapore, he got caught by Max. Like if Magnussen hadn't, we said it in the last watch along, if he was a little bit more patient at the start of a race, just a little bit, then he would, on those first couple of laps, he'd have so many more points for Haas and himself. So, what is happening with Latifi? He's off, isn't he? He's out. He's been kicked out the door of Williams. it's a bit of a shame that they haven't been able to buy him out of his contract, because Latifi is really not doing any decent work for Williams. Alex Albon was 12th in P3, I saw, and Latifi was 19th again. So Alex Albon clearly showing that car does have potential in it, but not in Latifi's hands. Who's going to take Latifi's seat if Nick Debris isn't taking it? Well. This is the only officially confirmed vacant seat remaining, isn't it? Haas is still a little bit up in the air. So I think Williams, there's no hiding, and they haven't hid the fact that they like Logan Sargent, who is a Williams junior driver, is in F2. But them putting Logan Sargent in the car all depends on if he has a decent last race of the year. If he ends up, if Sargent doesn't get, if he doesn't finish the race, I think it is, he doesn't get any super license points. And yeah, he's still just shy of a super license, which is what he needs to get into F1. I think they'll go Sargent because one, he's a junior driver, two, he's in F2, and three, he's American. They've got American owners, tap into that American market, and he'd be the first American driver on the grid for F1 that we haven't. Yeah, he's the first American driver in this new era of F1, like the Drive to Survive era. And it'd bring in a lot of money for them, like commercially. They could sign Drugovic or Porsche. Or hasn't Drugovic signed as Aston Martin's reserve driver? Is that right? Or Teo Porsche? Yeah, actually, I don't think Porsche has secured himself a drive. And I think Porsche also confirmed that this is definitely his last year in F2. So he'll be looking to get some sort of role in F1. Like where it's a third, like reserve driver or something, where he can step up. Drugovic has been very smart. He's Aston Martin's reserve driver, and he will have an F1 seat at some point. He's going to have next year out because of Fernando Alonso. But look, something could really go wrong with Fernando Alonso at Aston Martin. I really expect fireworks. And realistically, how long is he going to be at Aston Martin for? He's 42. He's 41 already. He's 42 next year. He's at least going to be like 2 years out of the sport, maybe. But he'll have that F1 seat to step into. Drugovic is driving an F1 session at some point in the later season. Yeah, for Aston Martin. So, coffee. No way I could have a tea. Schumacher to Williams, Hulk to Haas, and Ricardo Merckx reserve. I don't see. I mean, Mick to Williams would be one that I didn't see coming. It's a possibility. That Williams need a backup. That's the thing. Logan hasn't got enough super license points, so they need to have that contingency in place if he does crash out and not get enough super license points. Hulk to Haas. I think that's a real misstep from Haas if they bring Hulkenberg in. A real misstep, and it's also a bit of a slap in the face to Fittipaldi as well, isn't it? Pietro Fittipaldi, like, he's their reserve driver. He's done. He deserves an opportunity, you think, but I don't run the F1 team, so. And then, yeah, I think Ricardo is pretty much very highly rumoured to be their third driver. He wants to stay in that F1 bubble. Doesn't want to be taken away from it. We've seen that drivers can come down with illness and COVID, and there's still different COVID restrictions across the world. So there could be a potential that let's say some of them test positive for COVID, but he would then have an opportunity to jump in a race in a Mercedes and show what it takes still. So I'm not quite sure I agreed with Jenson Button's assessment yesterday, but him being a third driver is a bad thing. Ideally, he wants to be in an F1 seat. But if you are going to lose your F1 seat and you want to stay in the F1 bubble and fold rather than be left out entirely, staying as a reserve driver for the top team, one of the top teams in F1, is not a bad thing, is it? And you're still around the F1 paddock, so you're still making yourself known, plant the seeds, try and get a seat for 2024. Hulkenberg is reserve driver for Aston Martin. Yeah, maybe. I really don't know what those last couple of seats are going to do. Oh, right. So the driver, I would change. Let's have a quick look at Twitter time. Have a look. Have a look at what's happening. Pirelli said today in 2023 they will experiment with the following rules of qualifying at 2 races. Q1 hard tyre only, Q2 medium tyre only, Q3 soft tyre only. But apparently it's good with F1 and FIA. What? Honestly, just... Can we just stop bloody tinkering with this sport to try and make it more entertaining? Like, this is another example of forced entertainment. Qualifying is about the drivers being the fastest. That's the thrill of qualifying. Being on the quickest tyre, on the limit, and setting the fastest lap they can. What is the point of that? I've never heard something so ludicrous. 10,001 votes. I was the 10,001 vote there. That just seems... I've got to see what some people are commenting there. Been in the regs ages, mentioning it on a certain podcast some time ago. At this point, once the title is sewn up, I think every race past that point should be used to experiment with new ideas and formats, to be honest. Why? Yeah, I agree. Why? I don't get it. I don't get some of these things that are being branded about by F1. They're really trying to... I totally get it from a business perspective, but they're really trying to optimize their product to get the most out of it. Hence why we're probably going to see the end of safety car. Races ending under the safety car. But no one particularly wants that, but it happens in the rules because it's a necessity sometimes. So that was a lot of traffic there. Look. That is a fast section as well. They're flat out through there. It's a nice rig. Oh, so this is interesting. This is the CFD stuff. This is like the wind tunnel stuff that they do. This is what it looks like to see the airflow over the car. Morning, Mijenko. How's it going, buddy? Welcome, and welcome to everyone else who's in the stream. On this, especially if you're from Europe, it's early in the morning. Not too early. It's still early, though. And if you're in the US, well, yeah, this is a proper evening race for you, or mid-morning race, or qualifying session. agree 100% about forced entertainment. Rugby, you don't just choose to have a rule where only 3 forwards go into a scrum for the first 10 minutes of a game. F1 doesn't need these new for quality. Exactly. It's just, it is forced entertainment, and that's what we get into, is that it's the American model, Liberty Media, American-owned company, and it's about making it exciting for the fan. Because doesn't NASCAR throw up, like, they throw up cautions left, right, and centre to bunch up the field all the time, don't they? Which to me is unfair. I don't know a lot about NASCAR, but to me, what's the point of being leading a race? What is the point? Like, there's no strategy involved. There's no reward for, like, being at the front of the pack for the majority of the race, because you know they're going to throw a caution and bunch up the field at the end, where you're going to be a sitting duck from everyone behind in the slipstream. And F1 doesn't need that. It should stay away from it, because they're only going to end up... The problem is, I understand you need to find a right balance between people who have loved the sport for years and years and years and new fans. But this is it. And it's the same with all business. It's not all just about new business. It's about maintaining the relationships that you've currently got, the repeat business. And F1 is already successful before Drive to Survive. Yes, not as successful as it is now, but it was already successful. It was already making quite a lot of money. Don't start alienating the current relationships, the current fans that you've got, the guys who have been around for ages, because they'll just end up going to different motorsports. MotoGP, the lower formulas, or like World Endurance Championship, things like that. There's plenty of other motorsports out there. Yes, F1 is the pinnacle and it always draws us back in, but don't start doing that, because you're just going to rub people up the wrong way. As the thing, oh, here we go. What a track this is, by the way, guys. What a track. Yeah, Alonso does look good. So the order that we've got here on the left-hand side is basically what was the order of... that was the order that we had in practice 3. Oh, Ted Kravitz just said that he thinks Red Bull are thinking that this is the track since Belgium, Spa, where they can dominate. I really hope not. I really hope not. I want it to be a close race. Ferraris feel confident, they said. Expect Ferrari to be strong here. This circuit really suits them. They'll be strong for the first sector, for the S's. And then for the Degners. So it's Degner 1, Degner 2. Hairpin, spoon. 130, oh. What a corner. You'll be watching any other track image. Wow. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Let's have a quick look, actually. Oh, but yeah, appreciate everyone who's tuning in, especially if you're an early bird like me. But qualifying starts on the hour. I've got 8 minutes now. 8 minutes. Have I seen? Everyone's seen Alonso go around the outside of Schumacher at 130R. Very good overtake. I see people on Twitter, the other day when they reposted it, going, "Well, that's nothing special. That's nothing special." Round at 130R. Yeah, it's not so special today because the cars can take 130R like one-handed. The drivers can go around there one-handed in these cars today. Like, that's how flat and comfortable they are in high speeds, especially a corner like 130R. But back then, I can't remember when that year was. I think it was 2007. It might even been 2005. But those cars were narrower. They were groove tyres. They didn't have the same amount of downforce, V8 engines, and that was brave. You never saw overtakes round 130R. And I believe he didn't lift. He was flat out. Might have been the slightest ever of lift. But you just didn't do that back in those days, in the mid-2000s, in those cars. You didn't overtake around 130R, especially around the outside. So, yeah, that took some balls, and that's why you hear the commentator go, "Oh my God." So, whereas today, the cars have evolved. They're a lot wider, they're quicker, they're aerodynamically so much better. It's no issue to get around there now. Let's go back.
Sainz just locking up behind his teammate Charles Leclerc.
Oh, thank you, Charles.
Low. Oh, what would you rather as a driver? Win from pole position leading every lap with the fastest lap of the race, or win from outside the top 10 after a really bad qualifying? Oh, option 2, so much funner. So much more fun. Feels so much more rewarding as well. There we go. Nick De Vries confirmed. AlphaTauri. Good decision that is, guys. Good decision to see Nick De Vries. He thoroughly deserved it. Do we reckon is a fault for you where you can say, you heard it here first? Nick De Vries ends up outperforming Yuki Tsunoda next year. He stays at AlphaTauri for the following year because Red Bull re-signed Perez. And then they move Perez on and Nick De Vries steps up the following year. Like 2024. I reckon he has that. I reckon he has 2 years in AlphaTauri and then he ends up stepping up to be Max's teammate. What a story that would be for Nick. What a story. And then, yeah, Alpine officially announcing Pierre Gasly. First broken news story by Fabrizio Romano. Gasly's taking it. It's midnight here in Colorado. Got some beers and ready for quality. Good man, Hill. Good man. I did wonder what time it was in the US. Obviously, it depends where you are in the US, but... Wow, you're 7 hours behind? Is that right? Colorado's mid-US, isn't it? Is it in the middle? Got to be if you're 7 hours behind. All right, so we've got 3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes until qualifying session starts. In the middle, 1 hour east of California. Yeah, because they're 8 hours, aren't they? like California. That's not too bad though. Sitting there, nice Friday night, couple of beers, watching quali. Can't say I've ever experienced that. The latest race we get here in the UK is the the US race, or Mexico. Mexico's at 8 o'clock evening time. So it's quite nice having an evening race. Actually, it allows you to go away and do whatever you want during the day, and you know at least something decent is on TV in the evening. So, but right. Well, let's do a quick poll, guys. Let's see who we all think is going to qualify on pole. I've got a feeling I know what your guys' answers is going to be. I've got a feeling there's quite a large max contingency. I've got a feeling there's who watch my watch-alongs, who tune in. It's not raining, Marlin. No, it's dry, but tomorrow is predicted rain. But I think it's predicted rain during the race, not at the start of the race. So it's going to be like a real spanner in the works. Oh, Jesus. Hang on. No. Don't answer that poll. There's nothing on it. There's nothing on it. Is Mercedes today, guys, going to throw up? Are they going to... didn't look quick in the dry, but are they going to throw up a surprise and be close to the front? There we go. I've done the 2 Red Bulls and the Ferraris. So, oh yeah, the echo in the mic is because I've got the stream up. That's why. Your option isn't on there. Merc, it wouldn't allow me to put another one on there. Normally I can do 5, but if you think Mercedes, you can let me know in the chat, guys. You can let me know in the chat. I think we might get a sneaky surprise from Mercedes, but we have cars out on track. Latifi. Go Tifi, guys. Go Tifi is out on track. You voted Max. Yeah. I feel like... I don't think he's taken any upgrades. I haven't heard an announcement of any upgrades. But we'll... I assume, obviously, everything is going into that engine. Everything's going to be ramped up for this weekend. So we have Gasly, Tsunoda out on track on the soft. So definitely, it's very dry out there, bone dry. It's good to see Suzuka in the dry, though. Such a amazing track. Be nice. It would be good if George got pole. Yeah, it'd be good to see. Or Hamilton. Go on the Brits. Yes, it is British bias in here. So, I don't really know what lap times are good, to be fair. What, 120, high 120s, isn't it? High 120s, low 130s? I'm going to assume low 130s. Oh Jesus, yeah, they got the spanners out, haven't they, for Carlos Sainz's car? Oh, it's Charles Leclerc. Sorry. What have they done to that? But yeah, Latifi first going round through the Senna S's, guys. Only 3 cars out on track at the moment. I thought we'd see a couple more, especially from the say the Haas, the Williams, Bit strange that Albon's not out on track either. 128 might be time to get, yeah, probably in the end. I don't know what it is in regards to getting through this time, through Q1. And we're not going to have a win this year. It'll be the first time he hasn't won in a season in F1. Possibly. Yeah, I think he needs a little bit of luck. He needs a bit of luck. So, can Yuki Tsunoda have a clean weekend, guys, in front of his home crowd? Norris out on track. Okay. So here comes the Tiffy into the final chicane. The Senna cross chicane, as someone aptly named it last night. And then, what time does he set? I'm going to say a 1:32. Oh, he's got into the pits. Okay, Gasly, 1:31. Oh, 1:32. I should have stuck with my original guess. Yuki, does he go quicker? Yuki goes with a 31.6. 4 tenths quicker than Gasly. Wow. Hamilton's out on track. Okay, we've got one of the big boys out on track. Mediums. Saving those soft tyres. Okay. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, actually. I didn't think about a tyre choice. So Perez is out on the softs. Do the Mercedes have... I don't know what they use tyre allocation-wise in practice, but... Did he get a toe? He might have done. Might have done. I think Yuki's going to be on one this weekend. He's going to want to impress the fans, put in a decent time. They always say it's a couple of extra temps racing at your home Grand Prix, so... Brazil seems like a strong point for Mercedes, but I'm worried about porpoising. Well, I think they've fixed their porpoising issues mainly, which is why they're performing much better. But it's nowhere. They still get a little bit. I still think the only car on the track which gets no porpoising whatsoever is the Red Bull. Yeah, pretty much 2023 lineups confirmed. Haas still haven't committed to Mick Schumacher next year, so that's still a little bit up in the air. Williams, we were discussing it at the start of the stream. I think we're going to get Logan Sargent. Depends on the last race of the year in Abu Dhabi for F2. He's just shy of super license points for an F1 seat, and if he has a poor race, I think if he ends up crashing out, that's it. He won't be in F1 next year. But they've got to have a contingency in place for if that doesn't happen. So we'll see. But yeah, everyone out on track nearly now. Luna, George. Look. Oh, sorry, guys, the cat. Stay there. Sorry, guys. There's a big drop here from this little glass panel. She sits on top of it. She falls down. Oh, she's going to hurt herself. Max Verstappen, world champion. Yeah, he can wrap it up this weekend. He needs to finish 8 points ahead of Charles Leclerc to mathematically win the championship. So who is coming around here for a set time? Lando. So keep an eye on Lando. He's the next one to cross the line here. What can he do? 31.6 by Yuki. I expect this to be like a 31. Low 31s. And yeah, only 2 tenths faster. 31.4. You'd expect McLaren to be quicker than that. So I've got Sky here on my phone. You can't see it. I've got it propped up here. And yes, this is ahead of... Because this comes from the live F1 timings. Get down. Go. Sorry, guys. Cat stream. Yeah, so this is ahead of the... Oh, 31.7 for George. Whoa. That was not quick whatsoever. He's slower than Tsunoda. And a 31.8 from Hamilton. Oh, they're on the mediums. They're on the mediums. I forgot about that. 30.6. Well, that's what we can see. Max is coming across the line. Here we go. A 30. 130? Yeah, 130.2. Charles Leclerc's out on track now, which is good. So yeah, as we said, this is ahead of the live feed that I've got. My stream is a little bit behind of cable TV live feed anyway, so, or live TV feed. No, she's not in the room. Don't worry. This is a glass partition, and so that she's there. She can't get through here, but there's sofas here, and she can like get over. But it's quite a big drop, and it's just like she literally hangs on the edge at the top, and it's just she hasn't fallen yet, but it gets very close. Right, so Ricardo 30.8. That's a good time. Danny Rick into the 30s. Go on, the boy. Needs a good end to the season to try and convince that he's still not washed out, shall we say. Before your F1 TV stream. Yeah, sorry, yeah, streams are always a little bit behind. This live timing is as up to date as it can be. My missus says the same thing. She's like, I know what's going to happen before it happens on TV because of me. The voting option, sorry, there's no, there was let's have a look. Sorry, the poll. So we will end the poll. 53 votes. Max Verstappen, obviously. No one voted Carlos Sainz. Okay. Right, so who's out on track at the moment? So Russell and Hamilton came into the pits. They were the only ones to come out on mediums. It seems strange decision to go on the mediums. And does seem like it because they're down the bottom of the grid at the moment. Bottom of the timing sheets. So good time from Danny Rick. So Sainz and Leclerc 30.3 and a 30.4. Ooh, that's not bad. Stroll chucking in a 31.5. Only just but Bottas splitting the McLarens. Whoa, where did that come from? Where did that come from? So Albon is currently on the lap. Alonso and Ocon. They're the only three remaining. Let's see what they can do. Let's see what Ocon can do. So Latifi did a 132. He's been quicker than Latifi all this weekend. Fully expect Albon to be able to get into the 131s. Here he comes. And 31.5 P11. Half a second quicker than his teammate. I mean, it's not difficult, is it? Let's be honest. It's not difficult, but just shows that car does have potential in it in the right hands. Williams really need to make a sensible decision with their driver replacement for Latifi next year. So yeah, Bots out nice and early. They don't sleep. So really, highlights of that first run, guys. The Mercedes coming out on the mediums, which clearly didn't work. So they need to come out and set another lap time on the softs. Verstappen, quickest, only by a tenth and 2 tenths pretty much from Leclerc, from the Ferraris. Alonso, okay. Who predicted Alonso at the start? Yeah, Sam, that was you. Said keep an eye out on Alonso, wasn't it? So Alonso has got pace here this week. Wily old fox, isn't he? He does like Suzuka. He does like it. Confidence is so key in racing. Your inters and the timing screen is around 8 seconds slower than the Fox coverage. Oh, is it? It's weird how, like, obviously everything stayed. But then again, Mick, it's in Japan. So Japan is a lot closer to Australia than it is to the UK. So there's that delay of it getting across the world. We are on the other side of the world, aren't we? It's understandable. 8 seconds delay isn't too bad, I think, actually. Yeah, go Tiffy in his usual position. So the Mercs have come back out, let me guess, on a set of softs? They've got to be. Gasly radio. Oh, Gasly's got a brake issue. .31.3, so he set a faster lap time. But not happy with the car. Let's have a look. So they're on their out laps, Russell and Hamilton. Time through 130R there. That's not good, is it? Slower than he was on the mediums. That's strange. Maybe less battery deployment. Oh, quickest for the chicane. But still slower. Where's Russell? Russell is quicker than Hamilton. So let's have a look at those times there as everyone comes out for their second run. Hamilton and Russell in the 130s, but Hamilton only a 130.9 and Russell a 130.8. Russell's still 2 tenths slower than Perez and Alonso. That's the big one there, is Alonso. So Danny Rick, what a time from Danny Rick, splitting the Mercedes. Ooh, well, that's not bad. So yeah, Hamilton is on the softs. So was no, George is definitely on the softs. What about Hamilton? Hamilton must have been on the softs. Hamilton on the softs, yeah, and Russell was also must have been on the softs as well. So we have a 2-minute warning. Luna, for fuck's sake, this cat. Oh, sorry guys. Bloody cat again. I've had to let her in. He won't jump on this, that's for sure. No live website link to watch. Unfortunately, Hassan, no. No, we would get done for copyright. 130, it must be headwind because that is all on the power there. Yes, probably. Yeah, I didn't think about that. But look at the backup of the field here. Look at this. All backing up because of the chicane. Don't think anyone's on a flying lap, so it's not going to cause any issues. But that is dangerous, guys. They are full pelt going into that chicane. So the drivers need to be careful. But Hamilton's going for another run. He wasn't happy. As we know, the Mercedes struggle to switch their tyres on, so it'd be interesting to see if Hamilton can go quicker here. Russell looks like he's also going for another run as well. So everyone, apart from the top 5, out on track. No one's going to get close to the top 5, but clearly Merc want to get another run in. So Vettel gets into the top 10 with a 1:31.2. Stroll, what can he do? A 1:31.4. Ooh. So only 2 attempts covering 4 positions. Bottas a 31.2 as well. So Bottas is performing well in the Alpha this week. Whoa! What a time from Zhou. Getting the toe from Bottas of 1:30.89. Does Magnussen get the benefit of the toe from Mick? No! 1:31.3. So they're gonna... that's it. They only got 1 lap in. They only got 1 time lap in, the Haas's. That's a poor performance from Magnussen there. Sonoda's currently in the bottom. And Sonoda jumps up to P12. Looks like he's going to have enough to get out of Q1. Hamilton. What is going on with Hamilton? Ocon moves up to P6. Level... Mate, the Alpines are looking strong here this weekend. Gasly's sitting there going, oh, that's nice to see. But will their engines hold out? Oh, I know why they're strong here this weekend, because they've had to put new engines in their car. Danny Ricciardo went into the pits. Yeah, purple from Norris, wasn't there, in the first sector? So who else is out on a time lap at the moment? And that's it, I think. Everyone's set laps. So, out of Q1 is Albon, Gasly, Magnussen, Stroll, and Latifi at the bottom. Who else? But yeah, Albon struggling there. I think he actually improved on his previous lap time. The one that got deleted. Last Tiffy, yeah. But yeah, Vettel sneaks through, and Valtteri Bottas. Good from Mick Schumacher as well, out qualifying his teammate by 5 positions up in P13. Well, I say up by 5 positions, like it's not full and final, but in Q1. Big story for me though, guys. Hamilton P11. Why could he not get? Maybe he come into traffic. He definitely couldn't improve on his previous lap time. Let's have a quick look. It was just slower. Oh, that's now, but Gasly is having brake issues, which is why he's out. But yeah, great time from Zhou and brilliant times from the Alpines, 4th and 6th. Wow. Watch out for that wily fox Alonso this weekend, guys. Why are you doing the other car but not me? Because because he's staying for another year. And you're not. And it's not your home track, Pierre. So, thanks, Alvaro. Thank you for the sub. And anyone else who is here and has subbed and it hasn't shown up, thank you, guys. Where can you watch for free? I can't say that, unfortunately, Alvaro. I'm sure you'll be able to figure something out. But yeah, 0.01 from the McLarens there. Brilliant from them. Solid into the P10s. But yeah, the Mercs don't look good on the slick tyres. This is not a track for them. Suzuka's more power dependent than the previous tracks we've been to, where the Merc has been a little bit more towards the front of the grid. So yeah, fully expect really Max to qualify out on pole here, just because he's got the machinery advantage over Ferrari. But we'll see. over the course of a race distance as well, the Ferraris have been a lot worse on their tyres than the Red Bull. This track is very hard on the front tyres because there's lots of high downforce, or sorry, high speed downforce corners. So yeah, fully expect Ferrari to be worse on their tyres tomorrow as well. Q1 has the same top 5 as FP3, is it? Oh. But yeah, at least Leclerc got out on track because his car was in pieces, literally, wasn't it? Just before. But yeah, losing Latifi, Stroll, Magnussen, Gasly, and Albon. The Gasly's one versus Vettel probably would be down there, or Bottas. But it is tight. It is tight, guys. Right, there we go. Resetting of the times. Q2 about to start. Literally loading in a couple of seconds, I believe. Oh, shit. Sorry. Let's just make this a bit smaller so that you guys can see the start finish line there. My cat is literally sitting right here. Can't see her, but she's right there. So what do we reckon? Who's going to go out here? Am I going to listen to Gasly on the radio again? Yeah, clear brake issue for Gasly there. Lots of lockups. What about Tsunoda? So the AlphaTauri is really struggling with their brakes. Well, I think they're having issues all around, Gasly, to be fair. I don't think it's just you. Strange. Is the Merc low on power, or is the chassis just really draggy? I feel like this is kind of unanswered. Williams have the same engine and no straight line speed issues. It's, yeah, the whole package, Hillet. Someone I was chatting to has a friend in the Merc system, and he said, science is out on track. He said that it's the whole package. There's not any one part that is kind of causing the issue, which is why they've not, with the cost cap as well, they haven't been able to bring. They need to like redesign the whole car. Basically, they've made a cock up with the side pod design. It wouldn't surprise me if next year we see that no side pod design disappear. I think that's been one of the issues, is that the airflow over the car is just not as draggy. The car's too draggy on the high-powered circuits. It's not able to switch its tyres on as well compared to the Ferrari and the Red Bulls. Yeah, and they've just struggled, haven't they? The porpoising as well. The porpoising means that, technically speaking, they have to get rid of that. They have to run the car at a higher ride height, which means that slows the car down. So there's all these combining factors that just, around the high-speed tracks, they just struggle, which is why you've seen them do well around the smaller, lower speed tracks like Zandvoort, Hungaroring, Singapore qualifying, etc. So, hey Sahar, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, don't worry. I don't think many of us watch practice if you're based in Europe. It was very early morning. I think they did get a bit too clever with the design. Yeah. Because you think they... Oh. My headphones come out. I can't remember how they performed in the very first practice session of the year. So in testing, I don't think they were slow. I think they were at the top of the pack, wasn't they? In regard to timings. And they had side pods. And then they came back the week later with no side pods. And the whole design has been based around that. So they were hoping that some floor changes would make a difference, but It just hasn't. It's a whole combined package that needs to change. So yeah, not they've cocked up on the development, but Mercedes, when you think about it, they've cocked up so badly on the development side and the design side, but they're still comfortably third position in the Constructors' Championship and still picking up podiums, and they very well could potentially still finish second in the Constructors' Championship. So it's not bad, is it really? If you've made an absolute balls up and you're still like third position. You're eating breakfast right now. Yeah, I'll be eating breakfast after this. Don't you worry, guys. What time's the race? Race tomorrow is 6 o'clock in the morning, UK time. And yeah, we heard about Nick De Vries and Gasly. Good news for both drivers. Happy to hear it. Right, here we go. Carlos Sainz is about to come over the line through the last chicane. What time does he set? He set a 1:30.4 last time around. Let's see what he does. A 1:30.3 and a 1:30.4, so he's slightly slower. How about Leclerc? He was in the 1:30.4 last time around. Can he improve? Remember, Max was a 30.2. No, a 30.486 as well. Okay. So no one else at the moment on a flying lap. The Red Bulls will be the next rounds. So keep an eye out on Max. De Vries scan AlphaTauri. Yeah. He's jumping in for Gasly's spot. Oh man, the onboard camera through Sainz's helmet is brilliant. Just completely flat out still through 130R. Like that corner is just like such an easy corner for him. Right. Oh, has Verstappen got an issue? He let Vettel through, or was Vettel just in a rush? No. Verstappen hasn't got an issue. Sorry, guys. I'm not. He was right behind Perez, and he clearly Vettel was clearly in a move on to get going. So, but here's the backup of the field now. No one on a flying lap close enough to get in the way there. Perez may hit some traffic at the end though. This could be a little bit of an issue for Perez. Look at where the AlphaTauris are. Not AlphaTauri, sorry, the Alfa Romeos. Is he going to catch up to the back of that pack with everyone backing up? I think he may well do here. Oh, this could be interesting. People need to be careful because there could be some penalties dished out. Well, his contract, Sahar, ended with Mercedes this year, apparently. I got told that in the last watch-along. So he was free to chat to whichever team he wanted. Okay, so Perez is going to get across... He's going to come to that chicane just in time of everyone else on their flying lap. So, oh, they've timed it well there, Red Bull. That was close. So Perez, can he improve on the Ferraris of 1:30.4? He was in the 1:30.6s in Q1. Here he goes across the line. And no, he's slower than last session. Vettel is coming across the line, I believe, on a lap. And Vettel does a 1:30.9. Whoa. Only half a second slower than the Ferraris. What? Here comes Max. A 1:30.3. So the track is slowing down slightly. Max did a 1:30.2 last time around. Maybe the wind's picking up. There's more of a headwind now through 130R. Lando, a 1:30.9. That is mind-boggling from Vettel, guys. Mind-boggling. What a lap that is. Alonso still chucking it in there in the 1:30.7s. A 1:30.5 from Ocon. Then again, I'm completely forgetting that they're probably on the used tyres. They're on the set of tyres that they used last time around, so it's not going to be as quick. 1:30.6, that's better from Hamilton. I wonder if he was on a set of fresh softs. And a 1:30.7. This is so close. What? When did 30.6 from Ricardo? Go on, Danny boy. Bottas a 1:30.9. The timings are so... When was the last time, guys, we saw, like, what is that? The top 12 separated by less than a second? That's mad. Never seen that. Well, I said never seen it, but I haven't seen that in a long time, especially in modern F1. Might see what De Vries coming for Hamilton, or I don't know. No, personally, I think Lando Norris will take over Hamilton's spot one day. Alonso and Perez, 1,000th between them. Yeah, there's nothing between these drivers, guys. Nothing between them. The only thing is that I probably expect that the top... I think Hamilton might have used a fresh set of softs. Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc, Ocon, Alonso probably used older soft tyres. Ricciardo's probably used a new set of softs. But regardless, still, to do a 1:30.6, that's brilliant. I know what, Mir. Stranger things have happened in F1. No, Alonso and Perez, there's 1,000th between them. Alonso, 1:30.701. Perez, a 1:30.702. But yeah, Perez and Russell do have the same time, yeah. A 1:30.702. Wow. Do I think... What about the Red Bull cost cap saga? Do I think Hamilton will get the 8th World Drivers' Championship? No, I do not. Not because I don't think he should. Because if the rules have been broken with the cost cap last year, then technically Max did benefit from a faster car or a more developed car than it should have been. I just don't think the FIA are going to touch it. We was chatting this morning. I think what we might see happen is that regardless of what happens this weekend, Max will still have over a 100-point lead over Charles Leclerc. I think what will happen is, let's say Red Bull, which is still yet to be announced, Let's use Red Bull. Hypothetically, Red Bull have gone over the cost cap, as it is rumoured. I think what they'll do, the FIA will dish out a penalty to Red Bull and Max Verstappen, because they have to penalise Max because he's benefited from an overdeveloped car, which is outside of the rules. I think they'll give him like a 100-point penalty, so that he's still just in the lead or he's just behind Leclerc. Let's say Max doesn't finish this race and Leclerc wins it, then I think there'd be just under 100 points difference between them. The championship is still on to the end of the season, and then the FIA is seen to not totally exclude Red Bull and Max from the championship. The title fight is still on, and everyone's kind of happy, really. But I don't think that's the right way to go about it, but that's what I can see happening. I had that thought last night, actually. Not this morning, last night. So, Alonso, 1,000th, yeah. I haven't seen... So, from P12, guys, to Max, there's 6 tenths. 8 tenths, or 9 tenths, technically, between P13. When was the last time you saw that tight between the top 13? Of course, 9 tenths is still a big gap. But Red Bull cheating team, how about last year? Everyone is happy. I don't know. That's just how I think it's going to happen. I just think I don't have much faith in the FIA to stand by the rules that they've dished out, or the penalties. I don't know. I just don't see it. And their penalties are very broad as well. They're not specific, which baffles me as well for something that's such a for finances like that. Why are the penalties so broad? They need to be specific. True, hit it. True, and there is the theory as well that so they got excluded from the Constructors' Championship that year officially, and it was also unofficially and widely regarded that they were not allowed to win the Drivers' Championship that year either, because that was Hamilton's first year in F1 2007, and Lewis and Alonso finished second and third, only like 1 point behind, 2 points behind. So yeah, there was also that theory as well. But yeah, no one really has faith in the FIA, even if it was. Look, I don't give a shit what team it is. It just so happens that it's Red Bull, right, or Aston Martin. But if it was Mercedes, Ferrari, whatever, yes, we all have our biases, but for the sport as a whole and for us having closer competition moving forward, which is what we all want as fans, the cost cap is essential to be enforced. Essential, and the right penalties need to be dished out because teams cannot be taking the piss. They can't. If I have been a shambles, always will be a shambles. Yeah, I agree, Pan. I agree. They're not a very well-run organisation, are they? Right, guys. Sergio is now on his flying lap. He is going to get traffic. He is definitely going to get traffic because Ocon... Is he on a flying lap as well, Ocon? Okay, Ocon is on a flying lap. So is Vettel... Okay, they won't get traffic. Sorry, I thought Ocon and Vettel were behind Perez. So at the moment, Vettel is the lead car of this session, guys. Vettel will be coming across the line first. Let's see if he can improve. It'd be brilliant if he can get down into the 130, lower than in the 130s, because he's only 2 tenths behind Russell, Perez and Alonso. I mean, that's mad. Same as Bottas as well. So, come on, Vettel. Is Vettel improving on his time? He has. He's got green times, guys. He was quickest through the hairpin. Go on, Vettel. Go on, Seb. Go on. Here he goes, across the line. What's he going to set? A 130.65. What? Wow, the track is ramping up, guys. Quick times coming in. A 130.3 from Ocon. Can Perez improve? A 129.9. Okay, so the track is track evolution, guys. Massive here at the moment. Bottas doesn't improve. So at least that's one position Vettel is going to keep there. Zhou doesn't improve either. So can Norris, Mick, and Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda improve? Here comes Mick. No. Clearly had a mistake somewhere. A 32.2. Tsunoda. No! Vettel's... What about Norris? Norris goes up. Okay, so Vettel still could, unfortunately, miss out here. A 30.4 from Hamilton. Not that much of an improvement, but an improvement. Alonso, a 30.3 of Perez. What a time by Perez. Here goes Danny Rick. Danny Rick doesn't improve. So Vettel is through to Q3. It's a shame for Danny Rick, but... Oh, Seb, oh, you beauty. What a lap. What a lap from Seb. Considering his teammate Stroll got knocked out in P19. Brilliant. But, right, so let's have a rundown of that, guys. Let's have a rundown. This is a real topsy-turvy grid. I'm loving it. So, Perez, fastest overall, 29.9. First man in the 29s. Alonso. Max didn't come out for a second lap. Alonso, Verstappen, Ocon. Those Alpines are strong here this week, guys. Can we see a podium position from the Alpines? Very possibly. The Ferraris didn't come out. I tell you what, Leclerc was close there. He was only 2 tenths away from being knocked out. But Russell, the Mercs don't really seem to have the overall pace. Hamilton was a 10th off of Alonso in second, so he's not too far behind, but I don't think they've really got it here. But then again, no, actually, I'm doing the Mercs a bit of disservice here, because the times here, guys, are so bunched up that I'm looking at the positions and thinking they're normally like 3 tenths behind, 4 tenths behind, and they're not. Of course, Perez has set a ridiculous lap there, really good lap. But Alonso could be looking for pole. I don't think so. I still think Max has got the edge. I still think Max has got the quicker car. But I think Alonso could get... He's definitely pushing for a podium. Sorry, to start on the second grid. Definitely. If I had never been as such, there is clearly an agenda going on and wants to promote the great white Max. Desperation to put someone alongside Lewis is so sad for those who understand. I think there is an element of the FIA or the powers that be in F1 did want to end the supremacy of Mercedes and Lewis. I personally have no issue in someone winning 6 titles in a row or 5 titles in a row or whatever it may be, as long as there is competition for that. Like, if it ends up being that they're the best person who comes out and winning, then fair enough, but I want to see competition for it, and I want to be going into at least the last couple of races with it still being decided. That's what I want personally, and that's what I kind of want to see most races as well. Don't care if the same person wins every race. Of course, you then end up getting the bias of, oh, I hope someone beats this person, because I don't want them to win, but because you want someone different. But still, I want to watch a close championship, a close races, close racing in the day. And if someone keeps winning that in those situations, then fair enough. They're clearly the better driver or the better competitor, aren't they? Kind of must have screwed his last lap, didn't improve in any sectors. Yeah, most probably. Most likely. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it was yellow altogether. No greens at all. Clearly on the limit of that car. But then again, I don't think they've got... I need to see Danny Rick's car. But does anyone know if he's got the new side pods on the car? I still think he's running the old spec McLaren. Lando should be quicker because he's running the newer spec. So I expect to see Lando above Danny Rick because he's got the newer spec car. So he does have the... Does he have the new one, Paul? Does he have the new spec? I haven't seen it. Even so, like, for him to be, considering his form in that McLaren the last couple of years, for him to be only 2 tenths behind Lando isn't bad. Isn't bad. Clearly got a bit of... Confidence is so key, guys, in any sport, especially F1. So, he has got it. Okay, fair enough. You love watching Red Bull haters. This is all coming up because they gave Mercedes a run for their money last year. It's even made it worse than Mercedes is worse this season. Look, Lee, yes, everyone's entitled to their own opinions. I'm not a Red Bull hater. I just think that if it is them, if it's Aston Martin who's severely gone over, then regardless of where you are on the grid, you need to be penalised properly. This is essential for not just now, but the sport moving forward the next 5 years, because that's really when the cost cap is going to come into its own and move the cars together, or competition together anyway. So, but I have no issue with Max winning multiple world championships if he does it like as fair competition. He's clearly been the quickest driver this year and does deserve it. But if it turns out that he's benefited from a car that has been overdeveloped because of the overspend on the cost cap, then the right penalties need to be dished out. That'd be the same as Hamilton and Russell, same as with Ferrari. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, the sport is bigger, as they always say, not football. No one player is bigger than the team, and the same as a team isn't bigger than the sport. No one team is bigger than the sport. and that should be the case in F1 as well. Do you think Danny Rick deserves a seat in F1 at the moment? No, Kyle, I don't. I think the last couple of years in McLaren have been absolutely shocking for him, and he doesn't deserve a seat. He's had one flash in the pan performance at Monza. He had a good performance last week in Singapore, but really, name me some good performances in the last 2 years that Danny Rick has had. Other than Monza, that's it. I think he needs. There's other drivers who I say coming through, but there's other driver options out there. He's an expensive option, Danny Rick, as well. He doesn't come with. He doesn't come with a cheap salary. He's one of the highest paid drivers on the grid as well. So there's also that element to it, which shows how disappointed. However much you think how poorly McLaren dealt with the whole situation. The fact of that they've been willing to get Danny Rick out of his contract, considering the amount of money he's on and the amount of money that's cost to get him out, just shows how unsatisfied they are with his performances. So, no worries, Marlin. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping by. You are trying, but you are deep down a Max fanboy. I swear, if this was Mercedes and Lewis, you guys would be off the roof with that. I'm not Max's biggest fan. I'm not, but I appreciate that he's a bloody quick driver. And I like the Max of this year. He's a lot more mature. He's got, obviously, what happened in Abu Dhabi happened in Abu Dhabi, but he's got, by the record books, a world championship under his belt. And it is the desperation of trying to win that first world championship is gone. And that's what Leclerc's got at the moment. He's just got that desperation of wanting to win that world championship, which is why he's made those mistakes. Max is much more cool, calm, and collected this year. And just a different man off the track as well. You notice him in his interviews compared to last year. And yeah, his performances have shown that you can't not be impressed, even if you're not a Max fan. Some of the laps he's put in, it's just been scary. We all know he's a quick driver, but you put a car like that in the hand of someone like Max, then you're going to see crazy lap times. Hey Arrows, how's it going, buddy? Welcome. Yeah, Red Bull. Red Jensen Button just saying Red Bull cruising around, getting their tyres up to temp. So here we go, guys. Last qualifying session. What do we reckon? So Seb has had to come back into the... Well, he's still in the pits. He's had an issue somewhere. Why did it take so long for De Vries to get a seat? He won F2, never got a look in, then went to FE, won as well. Finally gets a chance in F1, looks great. Timing. Hillet. It's all about timing in F1. Depends when people are retiring, when people are drivers are not performing. It all depends. And clearly, when he won F2, there wasn't a seat for him to step up into. It was the era of Lewis and Rosberg. There just wasn't, and there wasn't really any retirement. So the grid was pretty static. And for him to keep racing, he had to look elsewhere. Mercedes was stuck by him, and thankfully he's been given an opportunity. But yeah, lots of talented drivers have slipped through the cracks in F1 just because there's only 20 positions on the grid. So it's all about politics in F1 as well, and if you're not able to get in there. Right, 31-1 from Ocon. So not a quick time there from Ocon whatsoever. Leclerc, 29.5. Whoa, easily the quickest time we've seen. Smashing Perez. So here comes Perez. What can he set? 29.9. So Leclerc, wow, 25.5 there. And Sainz at 29.7. Oh, that is a benchmark for Verstappen there. Can he set a quicker time than that coming through the last chicane. 31 from Norris, not a good time from him. Here comes Max. A 29.3, smashes it out of the park. 2.5 tenths quicker. Lewis, 30.9. Oh my God. And Russell, a 30.9 as well. So Mercedes clearly not got the temperature in those tyres compared to the Red Bull and Ferraris. That's for sure. And Alonso, 30.3 again. You got to give it to Alonso. He's consistent, but he's a second slower than Max's Red Bull. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. No worries, Drum. Good to see you, man. Red Bull and the fans. How do I think Max and his dad would have handled what happened at the end of 2021? I don't know. I really don't know. So Vettel is now on his flying lap. He's a lap behind everyone at the moment, or a run behind everyone. Great to see Vettel in P10, man, or like in Q3 anyway. So good. I don't expect him to out-qualify anyone here, but the fact of it, he's going to be starting 10th on the grid. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Drum. Yeah, Vettel and Ricciardo in Red Bull. Oh, Lando's got a bit of an issue. Oh no, he bogged down. Bogged down. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, that could be a penalty coming for Max. That could be a penalty. What the hell happened there? Jesus. That'll be looked at. Will we get a penalty for it? I don't know. I don't know. But that wasn't... Oh, Vettel! I eat my words, guys. Vettel could out-qualify everyone. Go on, Vettel. That needs to be looked at with Max. Then again, FIA, considering the circumstances this weekend with him possibly having to win championship, I don't expect a lot. FIA are a bit weird like that, aren't they? But look, right. We're going to end the conversation in regards to Max right now. And I'll end it on this. You may not be a fan of Max. I openly admit I'm not particularly his biggest fan. I don't particularly like the way he drove last year. But you cannot avoid the fact that he is undeniably a fucking quick driver. One of, if not the quickest drivers on the grid. And this year, there's no doubt, regardless of cost cap or whatever, you put that sort of machinery in someone like Max's hands, like Lewis's hands, those extra special drivers, then you see the dominant performances that we've seen. And that's it. That's where we're drawing the line. Paul, what happened? Well, so Max was, I don't know, he was going slow on the exit of 130R, obviously getting ready for his lap, coming into the chicane. And Lando was coming through 130R, not overly quick, but speeding up. And, mate, like, Max lost the rear and nearly spun into... He caught it, but he nearly spun into Lando sideways, like nearly like that. And Lando had to go on the grass. Like, could have seen a big crash there. Big crash. It's going to be looked at by the stewards. I don't know if it will be a penalty or not, but it's very odd that Max did that, and he even came on the radio and was like, "Oh, fucking unbelievable." So, hey, Valentine, welcome, buddy. If I investigate after the session, yeah, that's what they'll do. No worries, Brandon. That's what we're here for. I've got this on TV here, so I can relay any of the information to you, as well as this lovely track. So, guys, here we are. The last run of the session. Verstappen currently in pole position, 2 tenths quicker than Leclerc, or 2.5 tenths. Sainz P3, Perez 4th. Alonso now coming out of the pits. He's last. He wanted to be last. And then Vettel. Brilliant time from Vettel. Hopefully he's going to get out and get another run. Don't know if he will. But, yeah, the Mercedes have some work to do here. Here we go. So Leclerc going through. Let's see. Let's ride on board with Leclerc and see if he can actually go quicker than Max's lap. We need to see some purples, guys. And we have indeed got purples through the center S's. If the purples disappear, it means that someone else has set a faster sector there. Ocon seemed to have been the person who set the quickest middle sector of the center S's, but Verstappen is now on his flying lap. As you can see, if those purples start to disappear, you know why. But doesn't look like Leclerc is any quicker, to be fair. Verstappen hasn't improved on those S's as of yet on the entry. Bit of an iffy lap from Leclerc, if I'm honest, but he was quick through Spoon. Clearly got that grip through there. Max was not quicker through any of the purple sectors than Leclerc was. Into the last chicane. Oh, he's slow. He's very slow. That Ferrari dragging through 130R. And here we go. Does he improve? No, he doesn't. Max is on provisional pole. He's on pole. Really losing time through out of Spoon and through 130R for Leclerc. Ocon goes up to 5th. Perez stays in 4th. Can Sainz improve? No, he can. A 29.3. So, to me, that is a Max pole position. No one is going to get it there. Has Max improved? Look at the straight line speed there. Jesus. Expect this to be a 29 dead, most probably. A 29.3. Hamilton. Can Hamilton improve? P9 currently. Yes, but only to P6. Out qualified by Ocon. Russell. Oh, Russell. Only just goes ahead of Vettel by 2 tenths. P8. What about Alonso? Here we go. No improvement by Alonso. A 30.3, but consistent. But that is crazy that Max has out-qualified Russell and Alonso and pretty much Hamilton by 1 second. But yeah, there we go, guys. There we go. Max Verstappen on pole position. 29.3. Provisionally on pole because we still don't know. Possible penalty because of the incident with Norris. We'll see. But that Red Bull really showing where it's got the legs down the back straight through 130R, which is where Leclerc could not improve on his previous lap time. Going to be an interesting race tomorrow. Going to be an interesting race. So, Ocon P5. Yeah, man. Brilliant result. 30.1. Clearly showing I am the captain now. I am the captain now with Gasly coming in and Alonso leaving. Could see some fireworks next year between Ocon and Gasly. But yeah, but the Alpines look strong. Yeah, half a 5. But once again, a very close qualifying session, guys. Just like Singapore, 0.05 between Sainz and Verstappen. A 100th of a second between Leclerc and Verstappen there. So Leclerc just lost that time, as we saw. No, it's not showing it now, but Leclerc lost that time really all the way down the back straight into the chicane. That's where he lost it. Clearly running different setups, as we know. The Ferrari likes to run a little bit more downforce than the Red Bull. We know the Red Bull's been quicker in a straight line speed. Oh my God. Oh wow, Max lost something off the car. Hang on, we're about to see. Coming out of Degner. Under the bridge. We didn't see it, cut it short. Wow. Think they'll have a nice sit down with some tea and end up liking each other? Yeah, I think so. Look, it's all in the past. They have to be teammates. You don't have to like each other, but I think they'll be man enough to get through it. But lost Tiffy to start starting the chicane with his 5 grid penalty. Yeah. Puncture for Max. I don't know if he had a puncture. Definitely picked up some damage there. There was a good sized chunk, wasn't it, that come off the floor or come off from the rear of the car. But yeah, that was a lot closer. So as I was saying, yeah, the Red Bull, as we know, has been quicker in a straight line than the Ferrari all year. Ferrari like to run a little bit more of a higher downforce setup. Clearly, I think that was quite evident to see on the sectors there, guys, where Leclerc was quickest through the high downforce sectors, such as the CNRSs and then Spoon Corner, but then really slow, or I say really slow, it's still only a tenth off of Max's fastest time, but slower through this back straight on the run through 130R where it's full throttle. So yeah, we're in for an intriguing race tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as what people think it's going to be, but especially if Leclerc can get ahead of Max down into the first corner. So yeah, we'll see. Is there a penalty for Max? Potentially. We don't know. The stewards are going to discuss it afterwards. But yes, it was very close call, forcing Lando there onto the grass. Could have been really bad. So Max was fastest in sector 1 and 3. Yeah, well, he was quickest through here. But was he fastest in that sector? Well, he was fastest in his fastest lap time. In his fastest lap time, he was probably quickest through here. But we saw through this corner and this corner. No, sorry, this one and this corner here that Leclerc was quickest. He might have lost, even though this was green and faster than his previous lap, it might have been still slower than Verstappen's. But you got to think of entry speed. Max was probably quickest through the first corner because you've got the benefit of the straight line speed. Sector 1 does start from the start-finish line all the way down to here. So no wonder Max was probably fastest in Sector 1. And then Sector 2 is obviously from this section here through the CNRSs, the high speed downforce corners. So yeah, Sector 3 is where, Sector 1 and Sector 3 is where the power element really comes into effect in the cars. Compared to the middle sector, which is where the downforce comes into its own. Should it be a penalty or not, in my opinion? I think, personally, it should. It's a mistake from Max, but he's lit up the rears and he's nearly crashed into Lando. Even if Lando was not going as quick, Lando still would have had to slam the brakes on, and it's like it's an unsafe thing to do in your warm-up lap. So I think it should. It doesn't matter which driver it is. However much you look at it, he's nearly caused a crash. He's caused another driver to go onto the grass, take evasive action. I don't see how it can't be at least a penalty. At worst, it'd be a 5-place grid penalty. And let's be honest, it's not really going to do much to Max. Max is quick enough anyway to get past those cars. Oh, it's quick enough to get past those cars, starting from 6th position. So it make it a little bit more difficult, but fully expecting to be on the back of the Ferrari straight away. So we'll see. But just rewatched the Norris Verstappen incident, Mick. Yeah, what's your thoughts on it, mate? What's your thoughts on it? Looks like Verstappen saw Norris and tried to move to the left and got out of the road. Well, I think he's lit up the rears. I think he was trying to warm up the tyres. Probably moved over to the left a little bit because he was in the middle of the track. But it's as for anyone who watches my sim racing stuff, if you watched last night especially, the closing speeds in these cars are so quick, so quick that you can't be doing stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But let's have a rundown of the final grid, guys. Provisional grid for tomorrow. Verstappen in P1 beating Leclerc by a 100th of a second. So close, even closer than it was last time around in Singapore. Leclerc must be getting fed up of the Red Bulls this season. Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz in P3, Perez P4, Ocon P5. Great result from Ocon there, sticking it in P5. 6th for Hamilton, Alonso in 7th. So tight at the top there. Alonso pretty much did 30.3s every single session. Really consistent from Alonso. Expect to see a good attack from him tomorrow from that position. Russell in P8, not really on the pace of this weekend, the Mercedes. I can't believe that they're a second slower around this track than the Ferrari and the Red Bull. Norris, Vettel, round of applause for Vettel, everyone. Brilliant, what a drive. Qualifying 10 positions higher than his teammate Lance Stroll in 19th. Let's all be honest. Let's all be honest here, guys. Stroll is the one who should be leaving that team, not Sebastian Vettel. Norris in P10, didn't really do a last run, possibly an issue. Ricciardo in P11, so we've got the McLarens starting alongside. Are they starting alongside each other? No, they're not. So, but 10th and 11th for Norris and Ricciardo, not bad. Danny Rick only just getting knocked out of Q2. Bottas, Tsunoda, Zhou, Mick Schumacher, Albon, Gasly, Magnussen, Stroll, and none other than, who else, guys? The Gotifi, Nicholas Latifi, bringing up the rear in 20th position. As some people have said, starting from the chicane tomorrow, because that's how far back he is. Oh dear, oh dear. So yeah, interesting race on our hands tomorrow, guys. Interesting race. Now, I'm going to have to give my heartfelt apology. I will not be here for the race tomorrow. I am, after this, shooting off and I'm out for the weekend. I'm gutted. Not going to lie, guys, I'm gutted because the watch-alongs recently have been really successful and you guys have loved them. I've loved chatting to you. But yes, going back to watching F1 on purely for the TV coverage tomorrow, which is going to be a bit strange because this is how I watch F1 now. So yes, do apologise. I will be doing a live stream tomorrow evening. I've actually got my own 100% race league, F1 league race to do at Suzuka tomorrow. So you can come and join me for that. Turn those notifications on. We'll talk about F1, of course, about the race. And yeah, I hope to see you guys there. I'll also probably be doing a stream on Monday to talk about this race in particular and to talk about the cost cap, because we're going to get the cost cap announcements on Monday. So yes, see what any permutations come of that. So yeah, guys, I just want to say a big thank you to you all. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the race tomorrow. You can follow me on Twitter as well. Twitter handle is at Stuffy. And yeah, I'll be, if I'm awake, depends how heavy on the drink I get tonight, because it's a party I'm going to tonight. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, big thank you, guys. Have a lovely rest of your weekends. Hang on, just changing scene. And yeah, feel free to join me tomorrow evening around 7:30 UK time, 8 o'clock UK time. We'll be doing our own 100% race. We'll talk about the race as well in regards to what happens. But yes, Monday I'll definitely be doing a debrief stream for you all. So yeah, have a lovely rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all later. Bye.